For today, we're going to tackle a question that comes up in Memoir absolutely loads. Is my life interesting enough to write about? So, this is about getting beneath the surface of that question because it comes up so many times. And I have met a lot of people who have the most fascinating stories, experiences, and wisdom that if they could share it with the world, they would change someone else's life. So, what we want to do is address that thing where we sit and look at the blank page and our fingers don't quite touch the keyboard. Or maybe we just stare into space because anything's more interesting than actually committing to the page. And your mind is going to be going, who am I to write this book? My life hasn't been extraordinary. I haven't climbed Everest. I haven't been an international spy or built an empire. So is my life interesting enough to write about? So if you've got all of this stuff going through your head, welcome. You are in great company. My name is Dale, and I've worked with people for probably about 13, 14 years, writing all kinds of books and stories. But my love is story because, like many people, I've been through a lot of stuff. I believe in the healing power of writing, but I also believe that given what so many people go through, that we need to share our stories. We need to get them out there and help other people to see that things are possible. So let's take a breather. Now, if you've got a cup of tea, get yourself settled with your tea. You're possibly going to need a phone for a timer and a notebook or journal to scribble in. So, oh, and a deep breath. So what's going underneath that question? Because underneath the is my life interesting enough is, I'm going to call it a much deadlier fear, because it is always about fear. Yes, there's lots of other things going on, but it's kind of like, am I allowed to be the person that inspires others to be more? Well, the answer is yes, but we need to get there first. So the nitty gritty is that people don't read memoir for the size of the story or the global importance of the events. They read it because they want to know if it is possible in the world for them. So if it's possible in the world, it's possible for me. So they're not looking for a celebrity autobiography. They're looking to see their own hidden, messy humanity mirrored back to them so that they know they are not alone. And that is the whole point, isn't it? Is we want to know that we are not alone in our messy middle. So lots of people are being through stuff, and that stuff might feel really, really similar, but your specific combination of story, experience, and wisdom is entirely unique. So the key is to find your slice of life, the right slice of life to share, and then understanding why you want to share it, really getting deeply connected to that. Why could I share this bit of my life, this wisdom that I have gained? So let's say, for example, if you are a self-love expert, writing about a motorbike ride across Europe might seem completely irrelevant unless taking that ride was an act of radical self-worth, a moment where you stopped pleasing other people and where you went a deep, enormous transformation. So you can write about anything if you write about it for yourself first, because that's where the healing lies. I have written so many memoirs, but they're not published. And the key is for many of us, we have to do the healing first. But then when you want to take the story out into the world, it needs to be relatable and it needs to be relevant. So people really don't care about your drama for drama's sake. They care about seeing themselves in it. So they know what is possible for them. So I'm going to say that again. If it's possible in the world, it's possible for me. And that's what people hold on to, that kind of hope that there is a way through that messy middle that we talked about. So I want to come back to you, and I want to come back to that question, like, why are you so fixed on finding your life uninteresting? Because calling your life boring is a very clever mechanism. It keeps you safe. And the mind's biggest objective is to keep you safe. So it's doing an absolutely amazing job. And if your life is boring and your story is uninteresting, you don't have to risk being seen. You don't have to risk exposing yourself and being vulnerable. And of course, there's always that thing about somebody might judge me. And you know, I've been through it all myself, so I know I've been in your shoes, and most of those fears are unfounded. Yeah, you've got keyboard warriors, but they are not your target audience. They are not the people you are here to inspire. So we're going to get a crowbar and we're going to crack open that defense. Yes, it might hurt. Ouch. So we're going to find the hidden gems in the parts of your life that you've spent years underestimating. So we're going to get ready to write, and at some point I'm going to suggest that you put a timer on. You might want to write for 5 minutes, you might want to write for 15. So I'm going to put the question up and you can sit and write. You choose the time, and we need a journal. So what we want to do is move out of this intellect, this stuff that's going on up here that stops the heart from speaking. And we want to ground the body before we write. So if you have got a cuppa, just put it down. And I'm just going to invite you to get those shoulders and let them drop. And unclamp your jaw. Now, I know my jaw is often held tight, and I often find myself kind of doing that and cricking it to let it go. And then we want to take a deep, slow breath right into the pit of our stomach and just let everything go. Just let it go. Just feel your breath. Take another couple of breaths and just let everything drop and just be at one with the breath. So today, you're not trying to be a proper writer. You're just a human being sat watching or listening to a video with a big, big desire to tell your truth. So the prompt is, what are the most uninteresting, ordinary parts of your life and why? And I deliberately chosen uninteresting because what tends to happen is we start writing about what we think is boring, and then the heart takes over and we go off on a tangent. So just pick one mundane, completely unremarkable day or a daily chore from a time when your life felt stuck or you felt overlooked. Perhaps you were washing the dishes. I have a great story about washing the dishes, but we'll leave that for another time. Maybe that was that cold commute on a mucky old grey bus, or sitting in the kitchen waiting for a kettle to boil. I have a story about the kettle boiling as well. So just pick something ordinary, mundane, that feels unremarkable. And there are some rules for soul writing for this prompt. So don't write your feelings. Don't say, I was bored or I was miserable. Now I've said that, you're probably going to, but whatever comes out, and that's fine. So describe the room. So if you're in a kitchen or you're on a bus, or you're in a cafe, describe the place you're in, and describe the scene. You know, what were you holding? Was there a fluorescent light, and was it just, does it make everything look grey and just awful? And what was the colour of the lino or whatever floor covering you had? And is anybody walking on it? Maybe the dog is pitter-pattering. Or you might have a mug with a chip in it, and there's a story behind the chip. So just describe the space, the room, the scene, and then let that ache just surface, let it come up through the detail, and let those defenses down, and just let that ache, whatever it is, let that surface. Just let everything flow. Okay, so I'm going to put that up on the screen for you to keep coming back to have a look at, and set your timer, 5, 10 or 15 minutes, entirely up to you. What I often find is that if you set something for 5 minutes, you don't have enough time. So set it for 15, and then if you stop, you can come straight back to the video. So I always like to have a cup of tea. I always like to start with my hands on my heart and do that dropping of the shoulders, unclenching of the jaw, doing some jaw, doing some breaths, and then just starting. And here's a key: you start with the mundane, and then the magic happens. Okay, so the most ordinary, uninteresting scene that you can remember. Don't explain what it means, just describe the room, the light, what was in your hands, what did you see, and let your pen take on a life of its own. Okay, welcome back after your 15 minutes. So we just want to take a slow breath, let it all go. And something that I like to do, since I've got a necklace in the way, is I like to just sit and breathe and tap here. Just breathe and tap, breathe and tap. So you could go for a walk, or you could reread straight away, but you don't do it with an editor's eye. You are not judging. It doesn't matter if it's not your best writing, because remember, we're not here to be a good writer, and it doesn't have to be publishable yet. The point is, you've written something, and what I often find is the meaning doesn't turn up on the page that we've scribbled on straight away. There'll be 3 days later, you're out walking the dogs, and all of a sudden you got it. Or you'll wake up one morning and you'll hit your journal, and it's there. Now, hands in the soapy suds. Things will come later, so don't push it, don't judge it, just breathe and let it go. And hopefully what you will find is a small moment, a small teeny glimmer of the truth of a story in that ordinary moment. And you know, life isn't ordinary, but just let the ideas, the thoughts, and whatever it is. But that was a very courageous thing that you did, is putting pen to paper, letting your heart explore and seeing what comes up. So just close the notebook, meaning will come later. And I do hope you will come and write with me on another time. Thank you.